I'm going to start with this one because I think it's important and it's something that gets very overlooked. I started to watch it and I was like, you know what? This would be a good one. This would be a good one. This would be a real good one. So this is Ryan Macbeth and better radio chatter in video games. So let's stay a while and listen and hear what he's got to say.
How can we make the radio chatter in video games better? Just today, a video popped up on my YouTube feed for a video game called Squadron 42, which I guess is like a single-player space combat game set in the Star Citizen universe. And I was curious.
I wonder if he actually just doesn't know.
I heard this.
This HD. This better be HD.
I'm getting a faint contact
Yeah,
with
it
bearing
is.
287. You picking that up?
Yeah, got it. Scanning now. We're clear. Commercial vessel out of Vegas 3. Reminder,
Lens
civilian
flare.
traffic is restricted under lockdown.
Copy that.
Now, I don't consider myself a gamer, but I've been around video games enough to know that something always seems off about the way people talk on the radio. Now, I served as an infantryman for 20 years, so I know what people are supposed to sound like.
I've noticed this a lot too. You know, I never served, you know, I don't handle a radio often, but I did hundreds of ride-alongs with my dad. And one thing that I noticed it's a lot of movies do it, are guilty of it, and a lot of video games are also guilty of it. The radio chatter just, it doesn't sound right. A lot of them don't ever sound right. But yeah, let's continue.
Like on the radio, and this isn't it. So in this video, I'm going to analyze what's wrong. I'm going to give you an example of it done right. Then I'm going to show you a real world example, and I'm going to show you how it can be improved. So if you're a game developer, take note. So
I'm not a
let's go
game
over the audio
developer.
again,
Just so you
this
guys
time
know,
with
I'm not a game
subtitles.
developer.
Archangel 6, come in.
Go for 6.
I'm getting a faint contact on bearing 287. You picking that up?
Yeah, got it. Scanning now.
There's without him going to get into it, like it doesn't sound right. Not that because there's not radio static or anything like that. I'm not saying that. It just doesn't sound right. Like it doesn't sound like two people talking to each other. You know, it seems very forced. That's just my opinion.
We're clear. Commercial vessel out of Vegas 3. Reminder that civilian traffic is restricted under lockdown.
Copy that.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure what is going on, but my guess is that these two birds are out on patrol. They see a civilian vessel and it's normal, and the guy says something kind of weird like, provided that the civilian traffic is restricted and locked down. Now, I don't know what is locked down or why this particular civilian traffic is allowed, but that's not important. I think the purpose of any good storytelling is to establish the base condition, the normal, so when the story gets started and things go wrong and you introduce conflict, the characters will be able to experience the hero's journey and change. But this video isn't about storytelling, although it kind of is, because we're...
This goes for video games and Hollywood. The hero's journey is okay to tell. It's okay to tell. Characters can struggle. Characters can fail. Characters can get hurt. It's okay. I think that's a journey that is less taken these days. Or if it is taken, it's done where the character doesn't ever really have any adversity.
44 seconds into the video, and we've established that these two pilots are out for yet another flight. It's a routine job, and it's kind of boring. We're clear, commercial vessel out of Vegas 3. Now, they've probably been flying for a couple of hours. They're bored. They have to pee. They just want to get back to their ship and shower and get something to eat. So why doesn't this particular scene work?
Just doesn't sound right.
Let me show you a good example from the dropship scene in the movie Aliens.
One of the greatest, one of the best sci-fi movies.
Affirmative. All drop stations secured.
Stand by 10 seconds. Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark.
So this scene features Corporal Pharaoh, and while I find it really strange that in the future the Marines have corporals flying aircraft, what I really want you to focus
It's usually
on is her
captains,
professionalism,
isn't it?
detachment.
Correct me if
and
I'm wrong,
almost
military
boredom.
guys.
She's done this hundreds of times. This is just another day. Now, let's listen to the Squadron 42 video again. Do they sound genuinely bored?
No, it just honestly, it just sounds like people reading off of a script, which has always been my problem with radio chatter and video games and a lot of movies. You know, some movies do it right. There's panic, or like he said, boredom, or annoyance. See, like, if I was that pilot, I would have been annoyed that there was restricted, or excuse me,
they think pilots
there was
talk,
civilians
not
in
the
a
way pilots
restricted area.
actually talk, and I think this ruins the immersion. I don't buy it. These pilots have
Immersion.
been out there for hours. Now, the other thing that you can see in the video from Aliens is Corporal Pharaoh pausing to manipulate equipment.
Primary couplers released. Hit the internals.
As I'm watching this, I'm immersed. It really looks like you have a pilot doing other things but also trying to communicate, so you have these competing priorities. If you've ever listened to the way pilots talk, they have this kind of clipped way of speaking. It's a very structured cadence, but they also
Jim.
seem to be somewhat detached. And it's probably because they're doing other things while they're talking. Let me show you an example from how to talk to air traffic control from the YouTube channel Fly with the Guys.
Deer Valley Ground, Cessna 75600, Romeo 8 requesting taxi, northwest departure with Echo.
Now it's clear and concise, but it also sounds like the guy is doing other things. He's scanning the area as he's taxiing. So I think the key here is to have the voice actors perform other tasks while they read their lines. It could be as simple as the actors flipping switches that light up randomly in the booth, and they have to speak while doing something else. So let me try
that would be a good idea.
the
That's a good
dialogue
idea.
while opening and closing the tips of ballpoint pens while I'm doing this in sequence. So let's give this a shot.
This ought to be good.
Occidental 6, come in.
Go for 6.
I'm getting a faint contact on bearing 287. You picking that up?
Yeah, got it. Scanning now.
See, this already sounds better. I'm sorry, it sounds better already.
For clear, commercial bus route to Vega 3, provided that civilian traffic is restricted in the lockdown. Over.
Copy that.
Now, let's add it to a radio filter and try it.
See, that
again.
looks so much. That sounds so much better.
Occidental 6, come in.
Go for 6.
I'm getting a faint contact on bearing 287. You picking that up?
Yeah, got it. Scanning now.
He's right. You need to sound.
Vega 3, provided that civilian traffic is restricted in the lockdown. Over.
So, like, you have to sound
I think
like.
this version is better. It sounds more like a fighter pilot trying to do multiple things while communicating. Hey, if you like this, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll do more videos on how video game designers can improve their military games.
I thought it
them
was
sound more
done
realistic.
well.
And, you know,
Thought it
Christmas
was done
is
well.
right around the corner, and you know what that means. Your wife or girlfriend is going to drag you to Christmas parties and make you wear something festive. So pick up one of my very NORAD Christmas shirts from Bunker Branding.
That's actually kind of
Features
cool.
an American F-15 and a Canadian CF-18 guarding Santa on his Christmas Eve
That's actually
mission.
kind of cool.
I guarantee you nobody else at your holiday party has one. So
Okay, enough of the commercial. I appreciate you, dude. I'll give you a like. We'll share that in the chat. So if you guys want to mess around with that, you're more than welcome to. Oh yeah, I forgot. I thought that's kind of like, I think that's kind of how you should do this. You know, make the pilot sound annoyed, bored, panicked. If they are just flying around, you know, doing what they're doing at the beginning of the Squadron 42 video, they can, you know, other than just reading the lines, do something so that way it sounds like you're semi-distracted, you know, because sitting in a ship, you know, we're playing the video game. You don't have, you know, when, let's say, for example, you're out, you're doing stuff with your pirate buddies, or you're doing bounties, and you're trying to call targets out while flying, not crashing, shooting, maintaining your speed, maintaining your distance. It doesn't come across as, get this guy right here, I'm getting him right now, I'm you know, it's broken. You're stating the target's name, and then you're kind of concentrating a second. Yeah, can somebody come over here and help me? And you're concentrating for a second. Watch out, he's real close to the ground, etc. You know, it's not just, you're not, people really can only do a couple of things at a time. And when you're sitting in a booth just reading lines like that, I feel like it doesn't come off as immersive. But I like that. That was really good. That was really well done. I liked that a lot.